NBA referees are in serious trouble right now. Everyone knows how hard it is to be an NBA referee or just a referee in any sport. I also think that like 99.9% of NBA fans could never officiate an NBA game for their life. The first team I want to talk about that's really been getting screwed by the refs is the Sacramento Kings. Now, for the Kings, this all started November 2nd, where they went up against the Miami Heat in Miami, where it was a tie game, 107 to 107. Tyler Hero with the ball. If he misses it, he goes to overtime. If he makes it, the Miami Heat win, obviously. And as you can see, Tyler Hero, makes the shot as he does. It's Tyler Hero. I mean, how often does he miss? But if you go back, he traveled. He traveled on the game-winning three-point shot, and the refs didn't call it. Not only did they not call it, they didn't check. They didn't say, let's go back and review that just to make sure. No, game's over. Miami Heat win 110 to 107. Now, things happen. People get unlucky calls. Unlucky, that sucks that a game was decided through one missed call from the ref, right? Fast forward to November 5th, the next game for the Sacramento Kings, who are on a 4-game road trip. Very close game. Kings up by 2. They inbound the ball to Malik Monk. He gets the ball and pretty much gets trapped in the corner and ends up turning the ball over, and the Magic score 2 points to tie the game, in which after, we all see De'Aaron Fox make that game-winning half-court shot, which is crazy. I love you, De'Aaron. So the Kings won this game. So you're probably wondering, well, where's the error in this? What did the refs do that was so bad in this game? Malik Monk was fouled. Before turning the ball over, it came out in the last 2-minute report that Malik Monk was fouled. It really makes you think, if De'Aaron Fox didn't hit that game-winning 3, and if they did go to overtime and lose, how much would that turnover being a foul actually affect the game and help the Kings maybe have won that way? In that game, there were a lot of calls during the last 2-minute report that went in the Kings' favor, which I still agree should have been called. I think a lot of people see that their team is getting a lot of good calls and, take it and say, well, sucks to suck, which I don't agree with. I think that if you're fouled, it should be called a foul no matter what team it is. I think it's ridiculous that people would back up their team that hard. Anyways, the Kings won that game, right? Thank you, De'Aaron Fox, for hitting the game-winning 3. So from just those 2 games, that is already 2 game-deciding, win or lose decisions that have been miscalled by the ref. Unlucky, right? It happens to some people. Unlucky. 2 of those 4 games could have been decided differently. Unlucky for the Kings, right? November 7th, Sacramento goes to Golden State to play against the Warriors. In this Warriors game, Kings were off to a great start, playing very good, right? Now let's fast forward to the end of the game where it really matters here. You have 2 incorrect calls in the last 2-minute report. Does anyone want to guess what team that favored? The Golden State Warriors. Are we really surprised? Are we really surprised? Steph Curry should have been called for a travel with 16.6 seconds left on the clock. And if they called that travel, it wouldn't have put Curry on the line, and the Kings would have still been ahead and gained possession of the ball. Probably one of the most crucial moments of the game that could have changed everything. Didn't get the call on that. And that's not it. That's not the worst part. Curry ends up putting the Warriors up by 3. It is 1.6 seconds left on the clock, if I'm not mistaken. And the Kings have 1 shot to get a 3-pointer off to try to tie the game. And what do? They inbound the ball to Kevin Huerter. He goes up for the shot. And they didn't call the 3 separate fouls on him while he was shooting. He was fouled in 3 different ways, and they didn't call a single one. It's starting to get a little bit ridiculous, right? You're starting to see this, and you're starting to go, this is getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird. 3 of their 4 road games have all had decisions that could have been made from the refs that would have changed the game. Not saying the Kings would have won every single one, saying it would have changed the game. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, this guy is just a crazy Kings fan who always, who always loses, which, we do. It's not only happening to the Kings, it's also happening to other teams in the league. Starting off with the Phoenix Suns. We're in a very close game up against the Portland Trailblazers. The very close game, tie game, and you had the refs missing a defensive 3-second violation on the Suns possession here. Mikal Bridges got called for a travel on their last possession, in which he didn't travel, which they went back and saw. And on the actual game-winning shot from the Portland Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant actually did travel on this. They didn't call it as a travel, but he quite literally traveled. So with this being said, with the amount of teams that have been getting absolutely screwed over, bent over, and fucked in the ass, what can the league do? What can the league do to stop this from happening and stop these absolute terrible non-calls at the end of the games? And also, not to mention, how can they stop these last 2-minute reports coming out and just slapping teams in the face saying, haha, you shouldn't have lost, but you still did, bitch. Now, there's probably better ways that they can stop it than what I'm about to say. I feel like the refs need to start doing a like buzzer beater game winning review, which, you know, they'll do if the player shoots it before, you know, the buzzer, or, you know, during the buzzer, whatever. But for stuff like this Jeremy Grant travel, how do you not just go and check? How do you not see that and go, that looked a little fishy? I'm gonna go back and make sure that was actually a good call. So I think it's just weird how they just call it game over. They don't listen to the coaches say, you know, that could have been travel. I just feel like they need to have more of a like last second review, because how is the last 2-minute report actually helping the league? Please tell me how the officials tweeting out a fucking bullshit ass article saying that we should have won, but we actually lost the game because of missed call. How does that help anything? How does that help anything going on? I just want to talk about that because as a Kings fan, we have been getting screwed over the most when it comes to this stuff, but we're not the only ones. And I want to make that clear because I think a lot of people just see Kings fans complaining and go, oh, it's because they suck ass. But it's happening to your team as well. So maybe take note of that. With that being said, thank you guys for coming in and watching my TED Talk. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys next video. Later.